East Coast. Haven't had this bad boy out in a minute. Let's get one of these little gullies. Packed away for another 6 months. Yeah, might be used a lot on this one. So I'll leave it out. This is what I need. This is what we did the measurements for. We got our hole saw 1 1/4. And we got our Harbor Freight bits. Which, to be honest, it's like, I think we can get away with that. I'm pretty sure it's like spot on though, really. Why? Boom. Evansville Sheet Metal. Shout out to them. We got it. I think that's what we need. And this is why we're back. Man, I skipped all the boring parts for you, but I guess we'll do a quick one right here. So, this is, I'm not gonna pretend I know the conversions like offhand, but it was closer to about 1/8 of an inch, maybe a little bit over. So the brainstorming and the ideas I threw out there first, I tried to just get a bunch of these. So I would have stacked, like, if they were about like 1/8 of an inch, I would have stacked about 6, 7, 8 of them together, and it just went that way. But I could only order 3 of them, so I tried. It wasn't that I found a better idea. No, I tried, and I could only order 3 new ones, and I wasn't gonna go through the hassle of eBaying 4 of them, $20 a piece, which ended up, it all comes out to the same price, but the weight is the problem. This is obviously heavier because it's thicker, but it's not that much heavier. So if I had 6 more of these, they would be a lot heavier than this. So we'll get to that in a second while we're trying to keep the weight down. But so in a lot of roundabout ways, or some way, shape, or form, everybody's too busy, or that part's too small, or we don't do that type of stuff, or you on your own. But I think there's a purpose in that. I'm coming to realize that. If I say all this is God-given, even the idea of this thing, like, I didn't come up with this. So I have to do this part too. This is the plan. That'll take it over. So, moment of truth. I don't know if I can get you in there. Okay, we can see the light now. That's good. Where still, if you can see these, like it has these like counterweights. So it has these. They just riveted on, but there's only 2 in this spot, and there's no more. So if I had to guess, because it's internally balanced, I'm guessing that will be the final balance. Like if your crankshaft pulley is balanced, flex plate, flywheel, they'll probably balance it the same way. So I'm guessing that's what those rivets are. I'm gonna have to get rid of those rivets. I think we're still under the weight of an automatic torque converter. If not, it gotta be right at the same weight. Maybe a little more, but I don't want to add too much weight to the like clutch flywheel setup, just because having all the torque run through it, so I'm worried about longevity. Okay, so that was if I wanted to put the VQ's stock dual mass setup on. So now if I want to go to the single mass, let's see. So now we have the space for that too. Like the whole point was it never, like, see, we could never get it to spin fluidly or flush. Like, but actually on this one, I think I would want to run them both just to be safe. Now on this one, I wouldn't mind running both because it's a single mass instead of dual mass, so it is already a tiny bit lighter than this setup. So now, like having this much space and just having all the bolts that just hold it down does make me a little bit nervous about either shearing the bolts or just having like slippage issues, but no other way it can be done, so we'll find out in the end. But welcome back to the swap, boys and girls. So second half, we'll actually get into the fabrication. So yeah, so a little bit that I forgot. The block or the piece that we're gonna fabricate is 6061 aluminum, in case anybody was wondering. 3.5 inch round. It's 7/8 of an inch thick. So that gives me enough clearance that I could run dual mass. I could run the VQ stock dual mass, or I can use the single mass. Like, I think I'm gonna use the single mass just because it's less complicated. We'll see what we get with that space, and the dual mass is a little bit thicker, so depending on pedal feel and that type of stuff, we'll see. So let's get into fabrication. So yeah, we're trying anything new. It's like trial and error. Expect to not be good at it, especially in the beginning. So I've been running, well, I'll show you my setup here, just so I feel comfortable with this to actually go through with it. But set it for some test passes. This is it's a heat shield. I'm pretty sure, I'm almost positive it's a 240 for brake booster. So yeah, heat shield for the brake booster. But so I just ran a few holes in it. You can see my first one was not good at all. Like just playing with the speeds and like pressure of how hard to push the drill down, that type of stuff, blah blah blah. So I feel like ready to dive into it. So yeah, no going back now.
Oh, this is a real thing?
We'll see.
I believe in you.
Alright, so got it cleaned up a little bit. So this is not the original bolt, but this is one of the flywheel bolts that I'm using because I needed longer ones to fit 2 flywheels on it. So I'm gonna drop one of those in just because. So if you can see how the circle is lined up, but this circle can still be lined up, but with the rest of them still moving around. So, because we only get one shot to not mess up this circle, we're gonna drop one of these bad boys through, and then we're gonna, I wanna do the one right across from it. That should be enough that the bit won't walk on me now, so. All right, so I think we're going somewhere. Go here next, and then maybe here. Yeah, so coming down to it. Finished product. So I wanted to get it cleaned up before I show it, test fit it, and blah blah blah. So I thought about ordering 2 of them, just trial and error. So I wanted to order 2. I ended up only ordering 1. Like, let's take the leap of faith. Let's go for it. Bought the drill press. Shout out Mike on Craigslist. $50. It's old, but got the job done. So, okay, let's see what we came up with. So we got it cleaned up. Let's get you up closer. it's so close. Hold on. Yeah, this one's not going straight. Oh. Nah, yeah, I don't like this one. And obviously I'm using just different ones. I got these grade 8s just because I needed longer ones, like I said before. And these are, I can't tell you what they're from, but obviously they're the factory like hardened. Yeah, so this one is way too tight. So, yeah, so that one didn't go on straight, so I'm gonna have to redo that one. Center circle's a little off, but it will work, like it'll pass. But the actual bolt holes is what we have to get perfectly right, and that is not perfectly right, so I'm gonna have to touch up one of those holes. But I'll show you what we're working with. You can see it's like on the left is perfectly matched. On the right, you can see the actual spacers itself is like the spacer itself, the circle, the hole is bigger than the flywheel. So I think we can get away with bigger. Smaller, that would cause a problem. Obviously it's not perfect. See. It's got one to go. See, that's as far as I can get it by hand. So that will never work on the motor. So I'll touch this up and does it work? Why do we do all that? So this is the setup for all the startup videos. About 3.5, maybe 3 3/4. Okay, so this is the single mass. This is probably the setup I'm gonna run. Dual mass is just too much weight, and it's already a V8, so let's keep it somewhat high revving. I'm trying to keep it high revving, so whatever. So you can notice just by looking at it offhand, it looks like a twin disc setup. So we are. So there's my 1.5 inches that it looked like. So the reason I didn't run this setup from the beginning, I couldn't do it without the spacer because of the stock, the automatic flex plate. This single mass flywheel wouldn't sit flush on top of it. And because it has the timing marks, it's hard to see, but there's a ridge like in the middle of the casting. So it when they were touching each other, it would never sit flush, like it was never even. Not good for clutches or anything, or anything involved in that system to be out of round or unbalanced. So I think we got it. Check back to see in the next one. Thanks for watching.